What's up, dickheads? Welcome back to the Beers and Deers podcast. A little late. That was beautiful, though. As always, spinning that shit behind the mixer. The guillotine and the Rambo coming back at you. What's up, baby?
What's happening? Feels like it's been ages since I've been here. I don't know why. It just
Every week, it's the same thing.
this week in particular, though, man. Like I don't know what it was. It felt like a long time.
A week and a day, right?
Maybe it's just all this snow.
Maybe.
We've been getting hammered with some snow around here.
What we get? About 3 or 4 inches this last one?
Yeah, but we got back-to-back weekends of snow, which has been cool. I love hunting in the snow.
Couple firsts for me tonight, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I had a couple too. You know, it dawned on me, and I wanted to bring this up early. So I was thinking about how I always, whenever I'm with rifle or muzzleloader, because muzzleloader I've really just started fucking with. But rifle, like we've talked about on weeks past how I just don't feel like
Comfortable?
yeah. I'm not like when I got my bow, man. Not that I'm like fucking the great white bow hunter or nothing, but I feel streamlined. Like I got it. I'm good to go. I'm like the beginning of the season, you got a little bit of rust to work out. You know what I mean? But after that, man, like I am a smooth, well-oiled machine out there in the deer woods with my bow. Now with the
Bathing
rifle,
in WD-40.
yeah, with the rifle, I just feel clunky, man. I just feel like I'm not on my game. Like I don't know what hanger to use. Like I fucking forgot the bra. Like I'm always like I'm just not good with it like I am with my bow.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me, and as I was sitting in the stand, like if you think about it, so how long is rifle season here in Maryland?
Well, this little section is only 3 days.
Yeah, and then we get 2 weeks whole.
Is it? It's like 2 weeks and 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first one comes in the Saturday after Thanksgiving for 2 weeks. Then it cuts off for a month or so, and then back in for 3 days.
Yes. So roughly, it's under 3 weeks a year.
Yeah.
We hunt with a rifle.
Plus muzzleloader. 2 weeks of muzzleloader.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying rifle.
Yeah.
Just
Gun's
follow,
a gun.
Follow me here. So, well, and rifles, for me, I haven't really hunted with a muzzleloader at all up until this year. And last year, I think I did a little bit too. But my point is you get 3 weeks out of the year that you're hunting with a rifle. Mm-hmm. And you're hunting about 20 weeks out of the year with a bow.
Yeah.
So it would take you almost 10 years of rifle hunting to have the same amount of experience that you have from 1 year of bow hunting.
If you're a strict bow hunter like we are.
Yes.
Because most people don't even hunt during bow. They
Yeah.
just, they get all fired up for these couple weeks of gun season, and that's it.
And it also occurred to me that, like, there's some old timers that are like that, and I'm not saying they're not credible. Don't take it the wrong way, but like you get some old timer who's been rifle hunting for 30 years, and you're like, man, I'd love to just hear stories from this guy, but it kind of makes you think, like, how much time has he really spent in the woods, though? If that's all you're doing,
Over 30 years, we're probably
a good bit. Don't get me wrong,
of course. But we hunt as much as we can because we're just fucking Jedis with our Hoyts. That we probably have the same amount of stand time. But,
yeah, it's interesting to think about. I'm not saying like it's just I never really thought about that. You know what I mean? About how much time I spend in the woods comparatively. Like with a rifle, I feel like a blumbering idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel as well oiled.
I've never thought about that either, but now that you bring it up, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. That's because of the vast amount of hours I've spent trekking in the woods and out of the woods and the trial and error, forgetting this and forgetting that, and how much time I've spent doing that compared to a rifle is minuscule. Like I've very few hours I've spent rifle hunting compared to how many hours I've spent bow hunting.
And practicing with the bow, especially this year.
Oh, yeah. A lot of practice, a lot more. So it makes sense why I just do not feel as prepared when I have a rifle in my hands as I do with my bow.
I'm with you. I'm right there with you.
However,
Hey,
it was a fucking good night for us, baby.
it was. Should we go back to Monday first?
Yeah, I mean, you want me to tell that one?
Yeah, go ahead and tell that story.
So-
You're the better wordsmith.
Monday, I can't remember. You were off because of work, right?
Snow.
Yeah, and I was off because it was a holiday through my work. So there's this piece of public that John and I had talked about hunting, and we just kind of got because of the snow. So there's a lot of benefits, and there's some cons to hunting in the snow. But one of the best benefits about it is tracking a deer. You can see where a deer's been. If they've walked in that snow, their tracks are readily available, and you can identify a large buck and a small like fawn very easily. And you can tell that by the distance from the prints apart, like how wide they are. Like if they're like 10 inches apart, 12 inches apart, that's a large animal. That's a big buck. Now, if they're like real close, it's a fawn, you know what I mean, or a small deer.
Well, a big doe will have wider apart prints because she has given birth and her pelvis is wider.
That makes sense. Yeah. If you got big tracks and they're wide, the feet are wide apart, it's a large animal.
Yeah.
You know, you can almost tell that for certain. Now, whether or not it's a buck or a doe is a little trickier, which you're asking the wrong fucking guy. I don't know how to tell you that from tracks.
Yeah, me neither.
Unless you can get onto now, there's some points like if you're out in the field and you can see where they were obviously grazing, and you see maybe some tines that have grazed the snow. Like maybe there's a way you could tell. But generally speaking, you can just tell the size of the deer that you're tracking.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can track deer. Deer movement is a lot easier to pick up on, but there's a dichotomy because that means your movement's easier to pick up on. So sound doesn't travel as far, and the reason for that is that the snow actually it absorbs the sound. So that can help you a lot too, because you can get away with a lot more noise and movement. And I would even imagine like a string. I bet your string's much quieter. So say you got deer, you make a 40-yard shot, that deer might not even jump that string, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I can't really speak to that, but it's theoretical.
It's hard to hunt in snow up here in Maryland. Like, we rarely get snow during deer season. It's usually like February we get snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is January, February is pretty much most of our snow. So it's not often we get this, but when we do, we get a treat. So we go to this public spot because of the snow, and we decided we're going to hunt on the ground with our bows.
Well, we took the tree stands, but there was no trees available at all.
Yeah, it's kind of how I remembered it, but I knew there was like possibly some trees. But like I said, it's been at the beginning of 2021 since I've been in there.
Yeah.
So we get in there, and we're pretty much like, okay, we might as well just fucking take these stands off.
Yeah, and we did.
Yeah, and we kind of found this nice little spot. There was a really heavily trailed. We walked past it initially because we're like, that looks like a good spot, but there's no trees. And we're walking around, we're looking for some trees, and we're like, all right, we're going to have to stick to the ground here. So we decided to go back to this trail because the wind's perfect, and we've got a nice little hill we can sit up on top of where we can basically conceal ourselves. And we sat up there, and we just kind of sat by each other, and we flipped a coin, or we flipped a stick to decide who would get first shot, and John won. And we were sitting there, and it was fucking awesome. A couple deer started coming in, and I look over at John, because I was sitting like to the right, and he was sitting to my left. So I was sitting closer to where the deer were going to come from, but I had no shot.
Yeah.
But I could see a little better, so I could like give John a heads up. Because it's tight in there, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so thick that being able to see is tough. So I seen they were coming. I was like, John, here they come. And he looks at me and he's like, really? And I was like, yeah.
I thought you were bullshitting.
He thought I was fucking with him. So these deer come, and they're coming along, and John's like, how many? And I mean, they're just taking their good old fucking time. And it's like, I don't know, it was pretty early. I'd say that was like, what, 3:30, maybe 4?
Yeah, probably somewhere around that. Yeah.
Sunset being at 5. So, and they're just taking their good old time. And all of a sudden, they just take a hard right. I don't want to say hard, but they took a right. And they started following another trail that me and John didn't see. Mm-hmm. So they cut another direction, and they didn't follow the trail that we were expecting them to. So that kind of sucked. And we kind of watched them go out to this little field and graze and go away. And it's like, well, shit. So they must be using this trail to, like, come back to bed and that one to get out to the field. So we're like, damn. All right. Well, we're kind of sitting there and we're thinking, let's try and move down a little bit and see if we can get a better shot. And there's just no moving down there. So we're kind of stuck there. We're like, well, we got a little bit of time left. Let's see what happens. And no deer are coming. It's getting to be almost last light. And we can see out in the field, past where these trails are, there's deer funneling out there. There's just a bunch of them out there.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck? And we're sitting in this spot, and I mean, the wind was howling Monday.
Yeah.
And it's blowing right towards us. So it's coming from where the deer are blowing right towards us.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember what happened, but I was like, dude, let's just go get them. And you were like, all right, go ahead. Let me get my stuff. I think you had like more shit.
I took everything off. I took
Yeah.
my harness off. So I was getting all my shit together, and I was like, just go.
Yeah.
And you took off after him.
And I just started coming towards them, and it's thick in here. There's like briars and shit, and I'm like, I'm moving through it, and I'm making a little bit of noise, but I know the wind's blowing right in my face, so I'm expecting them not to hear me, and the snow on the ground is muffling a little bit. And I get to about like 30, 35 yards, and I'm like, all right, I can make this shot. And I go to get my rangefinder, and I go to range this big doe. I'm like, hell yeah. And I range her, and nothing. I don't know if it was from the cold or what, but at the time, I'm just like, fuck. I look back at you, and you're like slowly starting to come behind me, and I'm like, this fucking rangefinder ain't working. So I stick it back in my pocket.
Yeah, you kept looking at me. I was like, why does he keep looking at me?
Yeah, that was why.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, all right. Well, I'm not going to guess a shot at 35 yards. You know what I mean? I want to be closer.
If I would have known that's what would have happened, because I could see the deer, I probably could have ranged the deer and then ranged you and done some quick math.
Yeah. I
And
wish
then
we
said,
had like little Bluetooth headphones or something we could talk to each other. I think that's illegal. But I was like, fuck. All right. So I was like, well, what I'm going to do is they are completely oblivious to my presence. I'm going to get 15 yards closer, and that way I will know it's 25 yards or under, and I'll take a shot. And so I'm like, fuck. All right. And I start trying to move, man, and these fucking sticker bushes are making a hell of a fucking racket.
Yes, they were.
I knew that the wind was helping me with the sound, but I couldn't believe how much sound I was getting away with. Mm-hmm. And I got out of the sticker bushes. And it's got like this little clearing, and I walk through this clearing, and there's a little couple bushes in front of them between us. And I'm keeping it that way. I want it that way. And one of the doe looks at me, and I just freeze. And me and her have like a staring contest for a few seconds, but I'm behind bushes, so she can't really see me. She just seen movement in that area. Mm-hmm. And she slowly goes back to feeding. And when she does, she turns her head the complete opposite direction. So I take another step, and there's a doe in between me and her that is completely oblivious to my presence, quartering away. I mean, money shot. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, here we go. So I get to where all I have to do is take one step, and I will have a shot on that doe. So I draw my bow, and when I do, that fucking doe looks right at me. And I'm like, shit. And I'm like, all right, I got to make a step to shoot her. So I go to I should have just tried to hold it as long as I could, but that was hindsight. And I take one step so I can get out and shoot her, and as soon as I go to step, she busts me and takes off. So I had to let down. It was a cool hunt, though.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
It was very exciting. We've seen a lot of deer on the ground. Almost got it done, but we will be going back to that proper tie.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely some potential here, and it was pretty evident to us that them deer haven't been hunted very much.
If at all.
I think it's just because there's nowhere to put a stand.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. And we're going to go back. And we might play a little different. We might try to stay on the ground like that.
Yeah, definitely not taking my climber.
Yeah, there's really no point.
No.
We can do it pretty much the same way, but this time we'll be better prepared. And that, I'll tell you what, man, that hunting in the snow it's different. And it's got its benefits. You can walk pretty fucking quiet.
Yeah.
For stalking, I like it. And I Johnny, you know me, I like hunting from the ground. It's fun.
Yeah. I rarely do it.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to do it one more time there before season ends.
Yes.
Put your leafy suit on. I'll put the ghillie suit on, and we'll fucking get it done.
Just sit 20 yards off that trail and just pick them off.
Yep.
Hopefully one comes by, before all the other ones. Arrow her, and then the next one, you arrow her, I arrow the next one.
God.
Shake and bake, baby.
Hey, man, I wanted to shoot more than one tonight, believe me. I was going to peg two of them.
Yeah, well, I would have too.
All right, well, tell me about your sit, man. So that was Monday, and neither one of us went out since then.
I went out last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You told me that.
The wind was howling last night. So I got to the property at port about 2:30. I put some more corn out because they've been hammering this corn, but only at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I get there and the wind is howling, and I'm just sitting in the truck after I put the corn out because it's fucking cold. And then Terry comes in, Terry Sr., shout out. And I'm like, I think I'm going to sit in my truck for a little bit. You go ahead. So I sit in my truck until 4 o'clock. And I finally go out. I decide I'm going to sit on the ground about 100 yards off of this corn pile that I put out. And so I take my little lawn chair out there. And I take Granddaddy's rifle out there, 32 Winchester Special. It rolled off the assembly line at Winchester in 1906.
Damn.
So this gun's got a little bit of a sentimental value to me. And I was hoping that old Pup-Up would send down some magic from the heavens. But of course he didn't. So, got skunked. But Terry shot one.
Did he?
Yeah, shot one last night. It scared the ever-living piss out of me. He shot at like 5 o'clock. I hear, "Caw-cow!" I'm like, okay. And about 5 seconds later, "Caw-cow!" And I see him tonight, and I was like, "How many did you get last night?" He was like, "Oh, I only got one. My scope's a little off." So I shot her in the ass first and had to finish her off.
Oof.
Yeah. I think he said he switched scopes or something, so it was a little off.
Oh, gotcha.
But he still got her.
Nice.
So tonight, I go back to the same spot. I'm sitting on the ground in a little lawn chair. I take the old lady's 30-06 out. And I get out there probably about 3 o'clock. And I dressed just as I did yesterday, which was probably a bit much. Because it was like 32 degrees today, but it was really warm.
It wasn't windy.
No. Whew, I was sweating. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there. Nothing's happening. I hear a couple shots ring off. And about 5:10, nothing's happening. 5:12, nothing's happening. So about 5:13, I gotta take a piss. So I'm just sitting. I don't want to stand up in this lawn chair. And I whip out the old little picker.
You usually sit when you pee, don't you?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I fold it down.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I can't.
Yeah.
And trying to get 2 inches of pecker out of 4 inches of camo, it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough. So I'm gotta give it a stretch. And because I don't want to piss all over myself. I don't want to piss on the chair.
My hands are freezing.
Yeah. And so I pee, give her a little shake. I look up towards the corn pile, and a deer has darted out in the field.
Really?
Yeah. I got no time to put the old schlongadong away. So I raise up a 30-06. Dick is still out. I raise up. It's a buck, not a very big buck. He's probably 60 yards out. He comes out, perfect broadside. I raise the gun up. First off, I broke a stick off, a Y stick to have a nice little rest. So that helped a lot. And I was getting ready to clap him, and he took a hard right, so he's facing away from me. I'm like, okay, he's going to the corn pile. And so he makes another left instead of going to the corn pile and walks a little bit, and he's perfect broadside. And I just put the crosshairs on his shoulder and jammed on the trigger. I know you're supposed to ease on the trigger on a rifle, but I just pulled the trigger and caw, and he was hit. And he took off, and I was listening. You can't hear him run in the snow either. Mm-mm. I just heard him crash. And I was like, okay, he gone. And I went up and very little blood. Found some, though, very little. Went up and found him. He was bigger than I thought, but he is a 6-pointer.
Well, so the disrespect, first of all.
What are you talking about?
You shot him with your dick out.
Hey, dude, I had no other choice.
Fuck.
Yeah, so
A 6-pointer. What made you shoot a 6-pointer?
well, we might not have this property next year.
Okay.
Nothing else was happening. And meat in the freezer, baby. At the end of the day, I'm a deer hunter.
Yeah. Oh, I can dig it. I can't say I'd shoot a 6er right now, but I have no feelings towards, like, I'm not negative about it. Like, hey, man, if you want to shoot a 6, shoot a 6. I'm just kind of surprised.
I thought he was a big spike. until I walked up on him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, I could totally get you shooting a big spike. Like, yeah, fuck that. That guy, he's kind of like a coal buck or whatever. But, yeah, I'm just kind of surprised. But if that's it, hey, like you said, at the end of the day, it's meat in the freezer.
And, man, that 30-06 put a fucking hurting on him.
Yeah.
Hit him
How far did he go?
He probably went about 100 yards.
Okay.
And hit him right through the heart. The exit wound was the size of the top of a beer can. It was a brutal.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's what I love to see. What grain 30-06 are you shooting?
I was shooting 150 grain.
I got 180.
That's packing a punch.
I shot a deer tonight twice, and neither of them exited.
Really?
Yeah. I did not like that.
Wow. Yeah, that one exited. We got to figure 150 grain is going almost 2,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
180, it's still going pretty fucking quick.
I just can't believe it didn't exit.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So, and you got anything else for tonight?
Gravy's buddy was there. He had a little like Polaris thing with a roof on it. It had AC and a radio. That was cool shit. He went down to the field edge and picked it up for me. Took it to my truck.
Motherfucker.
Hey, it was easy peasy lemon squeezy, Daddy.
I was thinking about that when I was on my way to Bucklands. I was like, damn, I probably should have went and helped John because you got fucking racing slicks on your truck.
Hey, you dirty bastard.
I didn't think about it. I'm sorry. But hey, at least that dude helped you out.
He was there. Terry was there. So I had all the help.
Yeah, because mine, I got them big mud tires on mine. I drove right out there in the field.
Yeah,
Get some.
I was gonna, but
I don't think you should have.
No.
Yeah, I think you made the right call.
Yeah, if none of them were there, I was gonna drag him up to the road.
Yeah.
Because at this time of the year, there's not much to him. He was maybe 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. The doe I shot was pretty fat.
Yeah. The old lady's got her hand raised. What do you need, dear?
So with no exit wound, that's when you have to check pretty good for a buckshot when you get that meat back, right?
For what?
But there's no exit wound.
Oh, it probably tore a bunch up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was saying with no exit wound, you got to check to see like how damaged the meat is because it probably bounced around in there, which it's definitely a factor. I almost cut myself on one of the ribs that was just blown to smithereens. It was like a sharp point on it. Wow. I was like, is that a broadhead like stuck in her ribs? And I'm feeling around and no, it wasn't.
I still got blood in my fingernails right now.
Yeah, I went home and showered real quick because I got out of there a little earlier than you.
Yeah, you dirty bastard.
So for me, I went in, and I think we went in right around the same time. I grabbed a rifle, and I did the same thing. I overdressed. I wore what I normally wore, but as cold as it was yesterday, I was like, let me wear my coveralls over it. I was sweating my ass off.
Me too.
So that kind of sucked because I was sweating when I got to my stand. But I was so like insulated with all that shit. I just didn't get cold. Even my feet weren't cold, which is kind of makes me think like maybe I should. It's not even worth thinking about like overdress, but that makes no sense because if I sat there for a while, my feet would have got cold. You know.
I had the old heated socks on tonight. Had them on high. They didn't get cold at all.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing, heated socks.
I know. I gotta just buy another pair. It's just like at this point, the season's almost over. Might as well wait till next year.
Yeah.
I did, however, and I'll tell you why. But I ordered a new knife on my way out of there today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been talking up this Gerber, right?
Well, I lost that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I lost that. So I've been using an old knife. Well, so I'm sitting in the stand, or I'm sorry, I'm making my way to my stand, and I jump up. Not one, but 4 or 5 deer.
Yikes.
What really caught my eye was the massive buck that was running in the front of the pack. I mean, monster. I think it was that big 8 that I never got a shot on earlier this year.
Damn it, son.
Yeah.
You should have just aimed for the tail and let her have it.
I tried. And he just would not stop.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get a good shot, and it just wasn't there.
These deer have been so pressured. They're just going to keep on running.
Yeah, there's no, like, they're not like, huh, what's that? No, they're just going.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucked. And I'm climbing into my stand, and I made a quiet entrance. It was just, they saw me. Yeah. And that's the thing with the snow. Movement, man, they can pick up on it easy. And so I get to my stand, and as I'm climbing up, I'm kind of like, man, it's early enough. Should I just climb down and drive to the other side of the property, go over to the Valley of Death, as we call it? Because, like, I feel like there's not when I've hunted there, I haven't seen that many deer, and I feel like that was all of them that live over here. So I was like, man, I kind of feel like I'm wasting my time, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit it out. I might see something with this time of year, like as quiet as I was going in with the snow. There could be other deer bedded down. There's no way they heard me, so they would have had to see me like those ones did, and there might be more. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna tough it out. And I heard a bunch of shots from the stand, so I know other guys were out there shooting. I bet it was a really good night.
Yeah, Terry got another one. I forgot to say that.
Hell yeah, Terry's been knocking them dead.
2 in 2 days.
But so I'm sitting in the stand, and about, I don't know, I think it was a little after 4. I look over, and I set my stand up facing away from where I was expecting the deer to go. So, because I stand most of the time when I have a rifle, because you got to kind of hold it. So I let it sit on my seat, and I just stand. But then I have the tree that I can use to rest up against, so I can have a nice steady shot. That's why I face it away when I use a rifle, because I have the open shot summit,
Yeah.
so I don't have a rail.
There's no, yeah. So you have no rest.
No rest.
You're free-handing.
Yes. So that's why I face my stand away, so I can use the tree as my rest. Yeah. And it works good for me. And the deer came from the other way. So it's par for the course, you know. It's just what happens.
Hey.
You know what I mean? But here comes it looks like 2 fawns. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, honestly, if they come out here and there is nothing else around, I'm probably going to shoot one of these fawns.
So I can't shoot a 6-pointer, but you can shoot a fawn, dude?
Well, hey, baby, it's me in the freezer. At this point, like, I really want one more to feel like I can get through the year. And, yeah, so that's kind of where I was at. I was like, I could just do 2 fawns. There's 2 of them.
Because one is probably just going to sit there like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The fawns are easy money. So they start coming out, and they're about 70 yards from me, and bang, there's 2 big does behind them. And I'm like, yes. And, man, let me tell you what, dude. I haven't been that pumped for a doe, and I got a fucking rifle in my hand, and I was just, my heart is pounding. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, breathe. I'm like taking deep breaths. I'm like, breathe, Seth, relax. You got to get your heart rate down. And I'm just, like, I got a shot on them. I'm just trying to breathe it, because I know, like, they're going to be in range for a while. They're not going nowhere. My wind's good. And I'm just trying to get my heart rate down. And I finally got it, like, under control. It was still up, but, like, I felt good. You know what I mean? And this doe's, she was probably like 60 yards from me, and I put the pin on her and I let her eat. And I did the same thing as you. I kind of jerked that trigger a little bit, which with that gun, it's kind of hard to do because I've got an AccuTrigger on it. But I did it anyway, and I knew I hit her a little back. I'm like, fuck. And she takes off. They all take off, and they kind of stop. And even the one I shot kind of stops, like, I don't know, 80 yards from me, and a bunch of them take off, and her and one of them are still there, and I put the pins on her, and bam, let her have it. I shot her literally right next to where I shot her the first time.
Oh, my God.
I just double gut shot this fucking doe.
Jesus.
The bullet, the entry holes on her were less than an inch apart.
God.
What the fuck was I doing? I don't know if it was me or maybe I was a little right. It was probably me.
Yeah.
And but she ran. From the second shot, she ran about 20 yards and dropped. Piled up, spun, rolled down a hill. The other deer took off, the other fawn that stopped. So, yeah, I was like, hell yeah. And so I could see her down. I was pumped, and I lowered the rifle down. And it just, man, that fucking rifle, it's like, I don't know how to tie it because I don't like lowering it with the barrel pointing at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But also, I don't want to drop it into the dirt. So it's like, what's a good way to tie this fucking thing? I gotta rig up a knot that keeps it like level, like parallel to the ground.
Do you have a shoulder strap on it?
No.
Yeah, get a shoulder strap and just tie it to the strap. Comes it up level.
And then I could not have to hold it the whole time too. Yeah, I gotta get a shoulder strap.
Hang it on a
Just hang it on a hanger. That would solve my problem.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
Yep. Hey, you've got a hell of a lot more experience with a rifle than I do.
Not really.
Okay. But so, excuse me. Let me baby. Oh,
God.
they go down good. I haven't drank all week.
Ugh.
Trying to lose weight, man.
Yeah. End of deer season. I'm with you.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, you heard it here first, dude. I'm gonna do a fight this year.
Are you?
Yeah, buddy.
Street beefs.
Street beefs. But so I climb down and I go over, find this doe. Got a very low blood. That's, typical of a rifle. They just don't give you great blood trails. But in the snow, you expect so much more.
Yeah.
But there just ain't much to it. But I knew where she was, so I walked over to her and I pulled my knife out and I go to start gutting this deer, and I started cutting off the tarsal glands. And it's kind of a thing that Kevin showed me for processing it, man. You do not want to get that stuff like on the meat or around it. So I've been cutting the tarsal glands off the deer before I handle them. Just so it's just good practice.
Yeah.
So, and I cut one off and I'm like, holy shit, this knife is dull. And I go to gut her, and it is like just sheer will trying to rip this thing open. It looked like a lightning bolt, the cut I left on this doe. And let me tell you what, if you really, really hate someone, let them field dress a gut shot deer with a dull knife. With a dull knife.
Yikes.
That is miserable, because you get it open, it's just guts, and then you've got to try and cut out all the connective tissue and everything, and it's just, this knife's so dull. Oh man, that sucked.
Yeah.
I took that knife, I carved my initials in the tree, and I stabbed the knife into the ground right in front of the tree, and I left it there.
Left it there.
I'm not, that way I was like, you know what? You're not going back out with this knife. Have you ever heard the expression burn the ships?
No.
So the Vikings, back when they were around, they would take their ships over to conquer new land. And like, say they get over to France and they have 20 ships with them. They would literally set them on fire. So there was no chance. They can't retreat.
Either die or you're taking
or
it.
take it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they would burn their ships.
Badass motherfuckers.
Yeah. So that was my way of burning the ships. It's like, I'm not using this again, because that was miserable. So I left the knife there, and I did this with ski boots one time too. I left them at the mountain. I was like, they were so old and so worn out. My feet hurt so bad after the end of the ski trip. I was like, next year you're buying new boots, because you're not going to have any.
Well, there you go.
And that was kind of my mindset. So I did that, and I took the nice big old doe out of there. She wasn't huge by any means, but she was a nice doe.
Yeah.
And I took her to Buckland's, washed her out really good there, and got another one on the board, baby.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and mark that down.
Yeah, I guess we're not gonna. Should we wait till I get my antlers back?
Yeah, I want to see him. If he's a nice big 6, dude, we'll give you a point.
I don't know. It's a tough call. Well, maybe we'll take a poll with the people.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll take
I like
a poll
that.
with the people.
Yeah, let's do a vote. We'll put it to a vote, because hey, man, that's at the end of the day, like we said. We kind of stuck these rules on us at the beginning of the year, and we've changed our mind so much. It's just kind of like, I'm not against giving you a point for a 6-pointer, but I think a vote's a good vote. That's a good idea. Yeah.
I was kind of in the same boat as you, though. My knife was dull as well, but that was my fault because I didn't sharpen it after the last deer I gutted. So I wasn't able to. I could have got the butthole out, but I didn't feel like fighting with it. So sorry, Buckland's, the butthole's still in it.
I did the same thing.
Sorry.
It was hard enough gutting that deer without doing that, so I left the butthole. My bad.
Yeah. I really love going up through the sternum and getting as much open as I can, and I think that really just made that knife dull.
Yeah.
I probably would have had a better shot at chewing the butthole out.
Yeah. That gave me a really good mental image. Thanks for that. So, the knife that I had, my Gerber, that when I bought it initially, I think that thing was like $40. I found it on Amazon for $23.
Hey.
And you get about 5 deer between sharpens with that knife.
It's a really good knife.
Yeah.
Wow.
I sharpen it like every 5 deer. So, if you want it, I'll send you a link. I bought it. It'll be here Tuesday.
Was it a
Gerber Moment.
Was it a fixed blade knife?
Fixed blade with a gut hook.
That's going to be my next knife, a fixed blade. Because mine right now is a foldable. I don't like that.
No.
God forbid that thing folds up.
In on your finger.
Yeah. No thanks.
It's like one of those fucking Instagram videos I send you.
Yeah, you dirty bastard. You got the weakest stomach in the world.
And I just sent John the sickest shit I could find on Instagram.
I'm good with deer. I can gut a deer, no problem. Don't give it. Yeah, I don't care unless I gut shot it. But there's something about like human gore. I don't know. Sympathetic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
I just, it's been such a good year. We're still right around the New Year, so I'm in a very reflective state of mind here lately. But I mean, that's 7 deer, 8 for you, right?
8. Yep.
7 for me. I mean, it's just been a really good year, and I'm gonna give Ryan a little shout out, man, because what I've noticed with hunting with Ryan from the time that we started hunting with him, like, you know what I mean, and I was kind of showing him the ropes, to now, like our last hunting trip, he has become a woodsman, a formidable hunter. Like I've watched him develop over the past 2 years. We're coming on the end of his second year as a hunter now, and now he can go in the woods and kind of like if you put Ryan on a property, he can go in there and find deer. You know what I mean? And I felt like with this last trip when I went with him, like we would be going in the same direction. I'm like, all right, dude, go over there, because he's gonna see the same shit I am, and he's gonna want to go the same places I am. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's awesome. And shout out Ryan, man, you've been sticking to it, and you've been fucking hammering down and putting the time in and putting the work in, and he's a formidable hunter now, man. Like he's not just a rookie. You don't know what he's doing anymore. And I just thought it's just fucking awesome, you know, to see that. I wish I had more friends that hunted, because the more of us that are good at it, we're all going to get better from all of us pushing one another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like with the like deer competition in next year, hey, babe, Ryan might be right up there with you and I. You know what I mean?
What has he got now? 4, 5?
He's got 4 points on the board. I mean, it's just awesome.
On public land,
and he's doing it all on public.
Yeah,
which is fucking hard. I've killed 1 deer on public this year.
I think we taught him too much.
Yeah, maybe we gotta knock him down a peg.
We gotta fucking reel those reins in.
We gotta start telling him bullshit. Yeah. Like when he asks us a question, I'm gonna just lie to him, tell him the exact opposite of what to do.
Should I hunt over this cut corn? No,
dude. If they just cut it last night. Yeah, dude. They won't touch that for at least 3 weeks.
We wouldn't do that. We probably will.
But yeah, I just thought that was just something I wanted to point out and give him a little shout out about, man.
Yeah, and he's definitely sticking with it. I mean, he went out yesterday in the bitter cold and the wind, and he was out tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think he's seen anything. Mm-mm. But he sticks with it, even when he doesn't see anything. So
yeah. And shout out. And that's how you get better. You just you got to spend time in the stand. You got to be in the woods. You got to experience these things, and it's working for him, you know.
And those shitty sits make the great sits even greater.
They really do. They make you appreciate it.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot more. Like, I felt like that Sika hunt made me appreciate the whitetail woods so much, because it's like, and I passed a lot of does this year. You know what I mean?
You did,
especially in the beginning of the year. But it's just like, man,
silly boy,
what a blessing it is just to be able to do that, just to be able to pass those does. And I fucking, man, we only got a couple weeks of season left, and I hate it. It sucks. I'm not done yet.
I'm not ready for it to end.
No.
Seasons ago, I would be burned out by now.
Yeah.
But right now, I want to keep going.
Yeah. I love doing this.
But, you know, we got a couple sits left. We got a couple exciting sits left.
Yeah.
That we're gonna do. So.
Oh yeah, we got some good hunts planned.
Yeah.
Some really good stuff. So I got a question for you, and this is just something I thought of because I went in the morning the other day. So for a late season morning, how late would you sit? Like if you go in the morning in January, how late would you sit? Would you get out of the woods at, say, 9, 10, 11, or like 7, 8? You know what I mean? Like what time would you sit till this time of year?
Depends on how cold it is, but probably 9.
Yeah, I think 9's about what I'd say too.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of guys would sit longer, but I'd say like 9:30 is about my limit.
Yeah. I mean, it was that buck on camera this morning at 7:30, and I didn't have anything else all throughout the day until I seen him again at 5:15. I don't think they really, I don't know. Unless you can cut them off from wherever they're feeding to their bed, I wouldn't say mornings are really good right about now.
I agree with you. You have to have good access.
Yeah.
But check this out. I want to show you a picture.
Ew.
And the time on this picture, this is a mature buck. And if my phone would work, this is a mature buck. This was last week in late season. And what the fuck? My picture won't load. I think it was 9/13. I have him in daylight.
Just cruising around?
Isn't that crazy?
Well, a little bit.
This time of year, it's shocking to me. And it won't load. I'll have to show you later. But
Do you still have the camera over at the feeder?
both my camera batteries are dead.
Okay.
Thank you for the cold, because they went out like yesterday.
Did you ever get any deer on the feeder at all?
None.
Damn it.
Yeah, I still have that feeder there. It's dead. Nothing but coons. I'd get the occasional deer, but it wasn't like on the feeder. It was just walking by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't have anything eating out of the feeder.
That's weird. I think we just got screwed with the worst parcel on this property.
I do too. We have and I'm not trying to like say, well, it's me, because I still love hunting there.
Yeah.
But the piece that they gave us sucks.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, which is why I hunt everybody else's.
Get fucked.
Yeah. Well, and I don't. I'm just kidding to an extent, but I definitely
blur the lines.
Yeah, and there's a piece over where like it's nobody's spot, like anybody can hunt there. That's where I spend most of my time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't really hunt our spot at all.
Yeah.
Just because it kind of sucks. And
it's pretty shitty.
When you got a 500-acre parcel and I feel like we've got this property pegged fairly well. I'm not saying we couldn't know it better, but we got it pegged fairly well, and I know where the deer are moving, and I know it's just not where we're at. You know what I mean? And I know nobody's hunting over here.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where I'm going to go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There's no point in wasting your goddamn time on where deer just aren't going to fucking be.
No. And if it was like, I'm not in anybody else's spot or anything, but I'm certainly in a, I don't know,
gray area.
Yeah.
That's why I put that corn out, because there's just nothing over there. I had to draw them in somehow.
Yeah, and that's where I hunt tonight, because I know the deer are coming out of there. I don't think it's anybody's area specifically where I'm at, but it's borders on the edge of ours and the edge of somebody else's. And I know where he sits, and I know where his stands are, and he's not hunting there. So it's not like I'm in his spot, or really ours. It's kind of like in between, but that's just, hey, dude, that's where they're at. And
sorry.
They move, deer move across the property unless you introduce something to that property. They're going to stay on a pretty particular pattern. Yeah. Whether you introduce pressure or food, then you can change that. But unless you do that, they're going to pretty much stick to their pattern. And I haven't really I tried adding corn via the feeder, and it just doesn't work. So I'm continuing to hunt them off of their natural pattern.
That kind of pisses me off, all the time.
And money.
Yeah. Mainly money that you spent. But, we put some time into that.
We put some time in.
And hanging those stands. I mean, what do we do with those stands? Just got to take them down?
I've hunted in a hang-on twice this year.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of sucks because, dude, as much as I love hunting in a climber, it is not as quick and quiet. It's nice to just zip in and climb up a hang-on.
It's so nice. God.
And it's like, especially in late season when it's as cold as it is, man, the last thing you want to do when you've been sitting for 3.5 hours is climb down out of a tree on a climber.
Yeah, and have to put that fucking thing together.
Yeah, it's just like, I just want to, when it's time to go, I just want to go, which is, there's a downside to them things, man. I love them because of the versatility, but that aspect does kind of suck.
It was really nice tonight because I left my little lawn chair from Friday night to today. I just walked right in, walked to my little chair, and killed a deer on the ground for the first time ever.
Oh, really?
Killed a deer in the snow for the first time ever.
Congratulations.
Killed a deer with my dick out for the first time ever.
I hope that's your last.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I can't blame you. I'd have done the same thing. You got to do what you got to do.
Surprise the shit out of me there.
Yeah. By the time you're done, you got an innie. It's so fucking cold out there today.
Oh, God.
That wind, that's a testament to the wind, man. The temps were colder yesterday, but that wind had them deer hunkered down. Tonight, I seen deer all day today. I seen deer driving around.
Oh, wow.
In the middle of the day today. And then tonight, I seen a bunch of deer. You seen a deer. They do not like those high winds, man.
I almost just left yesterday.
Yeah.
But fuck it, I was already out there.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, we got a lot. We got a lot left. I got some couple stories I wanted to touch on. Do you have anything?
Just something I seen on the internet.
So, a lost Wisconsin hunter was found after being gored by a wounded buck.
Holy balls.
Having spending roughly 8 hours in the woods, the hunter was found in a drainage ditch bleeding from his leg and borderline hypothermic.
God.
Yeah. It was where was it? Wisconsin. And so it's cold as fuck up there. This guy shot a nice fucking 10-point buck and went to go recover it, and he popped up and let him have it. And I guess he was only on, I think it was like a 50-acre property.
Wow.
And I guess a loved one reached out to the authorities and was like, hey, we haven't heard back from him, blah, blah. And yeah, the dude was bleeding out in a ditch, almost died.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't take down the dude's name, but hey, glad you're all right, man. That's why, yeah, dude, you always take your weapon with you.
Yes. Jesus. When you're walking up on what you think is a dead deer, act like it's still alive. Mm-hmm. Poke its eye with the end of the gun or the end of your bow.
Yep. I'll often stop and just wait to see if I see it breathe.
Yeah, I did that tonight.
Yeah.
I did the same thing tonight.
Particularly with a buck.
Yeah.
I always do that with a buck.
Yeah, I sat there with my light trained on him, just making sure he wasn't breathing. And then even still, I walked up on him and I poked him in the eye, making sure he didn't blink.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, dude, they kill people every year. It's like every year at least one person dies in the U.S.
Yeah.
From a deer. A buck being gored. I'm not talking about cars because they kill more than a fuck ton via being hit by a car. But
Jesus, people.
So, one other thing I seen, and this took effect December 1st, but the use of sites with built-in electronic range-finding capabilities and technology that delivers real-time location data, including photos, to target or guide a hunter to any animal are now considered violations of the Boone and Crockett Club's revered code of ethical conduct. Hunters who enter animals for considerations into the Boone and Crockett records of North American big game must sign an affidavit swearing that they have not relied on any of these technologies.
Wow.
So Boone and Crockett is, if you use a cell cam and you harvest a buck, they say that is not under their code of conduct. It is not fair chase.
I agree with it.
So they're kind of tagging along with what Utah and Arizona and them are doing. I think this is going to be a trend. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this start to sweep across the country. And I don't disagree.
I gotta pee so bad.
But all right, I'll
pause it real quick.
Yeah, I'll pause it. Johnny's going to take a tinkle. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're back, Johnny.
Yeah.
Everything come out all right?
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a trend where they start to ban cell cams, and that just sweeps the nation. And I don't disagree with it. I love my cell cam.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 of them, and I love them. But I mean, if they took them out, I wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I guess I'd be kind of pissed because I got them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I see the argument, and I don't. It just, I'm kind of indifferent towards the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like if they didn't allow it, I kind of like it actually. But at the same time, I really do enjoy getting pictures. But it's more of, I don't know how much it affects the way I hunt. I suppose it does, but when I think about it, if I didn't have a cell cam, there's some days where I wouldn't hunt. And there's some days where I would hunt when it would just change the way you hunt. You know what I mean? As to, like, when you get a picture of a buck and he's hitting a certain spot, it makes you want to go in there and hit it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, if I didn't have it, I might hunt somewhere else. I might hunt here. But who's to say what? So you have this cell camera on this location, and you see a buck there, but you don't have a cell camera on this other location. If you didn't have a cell cam at all, you might be at this other location when a buck's there because you had no cell cams. You know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily, for whitetail, I don't know how much it's going to, unless you've got like an array of cell cameras all over a property, then I could see how it would be, it would completely dictate how you hunt. But for the way I have them, like just a couple, I don't know how much it would really change for me.
Yeah, and I mean, is it really real time Like you're not getting a picture and you're not rushing to the woods and you're not killing that animal.
No.
So I mean,
Not saying I wouldn't, but
well, I mean, you would try, but you're not going to do it.
you're not going to do it.
I can understand the argument on banning them. I get it, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't, it would suck, but I mean, you got to go by the law. But I'm either way.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I think it would you'd have to work more with regular cameras. You have to put more cameras out earlier, and you'd have to get a pattern.
Yeah.
Like, I used my cell camera to kill that deer tonight. I put that camera out there, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and I knew that they'd be out there 5:15, and sure as shit, he was.
But the corn does that for you, too.
That's true.
You know they're going to come to that corn.
That's very, very true.
So it's really no different. I mean, that's another one. Like, I wouldn't be that mad if they banned baiting, honestly. I'd be good with it. I'd rather them ban it altogether than just allow it on private, because what it does is it creates these issues where you've got public land that butts up to private and all the fucking deer go over to there.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks. I feel like if they allow baiting in a state, it should be allowed everywhere, not just public or not just private.
Could you imagine? People would probably get killed on public land for baiting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking cocksucker, you shot my deer.
Yeah, that I can see the issues.
Yeah,
of
that'd
course.
be big issues.
But I don't know. I think, see, it's one of those things, when in Rome. Like, if they allow baiting, I'm probably going to do it. If they allow cell cams, I'm probably going to use it.
Yeah.
Whatever to make my hunting, make it a little easier, to tip the odds in my favor a little bit, I'm going to use it. To an extent, of course. Now, but if they banned those things, they banned baiting, honestly, if they put a vote up to ban baiting in Maryland, I would say pass it. And if they did it for the cell cams, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
with you.
And here's the thing: if they did ban cell cams, I don't know if I would get regular cameras again. Honestly,
No?
I
I don't like them.
I think I might use them initially in early season. You know what I mean? Just to see what's going on in early season. But then after that, I probably wouldn't use them. They're just impractical.
Yeah, I mean, where I put my stand, I already know there's going to be deer there. So, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, because I feel like you're doubling the amount of pressure anytime. Well, maybe not doubling, but if you've got a camera in one spot, you're going in there more to check this thing. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I'd love to hear Kevin Dvorak's input on it. He'd be fucking hot if they ban baiting, because he fucking loves hunting over that corn. He smacks them for you.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people would be against it, but honestly, I wouldn't care.
Tonight was the only, this is the second deer I killed this year over bait.
Yeah,
So,
I think I've killed one this year over bait. Yeah, one over at Billy's. Yeah, that's it.
last year I didn't kill any over bait. I killed 10 deer last year, not over bait. So.
Yeah, I didn't bait it all last year either, did I? I don't think I did. No. Yeah, and I killed, 7? Yeah. So 8's the most I've killed in a year. So if I kill one more this year, I'll be tied with my all-time. So my goal for January is to kill 2 more deer. I want to beat my record.
It can definitely happen.
I could do it.
The 2 hunts that we're going to go on together could definitely happen.
Yeah. I think so. I love how this is just coming down to the wire, baby. Dude, we don't know who's going to win this competition.
I'm excited.
It's awesome.
I kind of hope we tie. I want that 100-yard shoot off.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass you like that.
Dude,
though,
come
man.
on, bro.
I mean, I'm gonna spank you if we do that, dude. I'm gonna 12 ring this fucking thing, and you're gonna shoot it in the leg.
No, that's not going to happen.
That would be cool though. I kind of want it to tie too. That'd be just fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because dude, how long has it been since we've shot 100 yards? It's been months.
Months.
Yeah.
Months.
And what we did kind of what we wanted to do next year. Some things we want to change. Here's another one I'm going to add to that. Next year, I'm going to shoot my firearms a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend more time at the range. I want to be more prepared for rifle season next year.
I was practicing my shot over and over, raising the rifle. I did it 10 times a night. Just try to get used to it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all.
No.
Not me.
Man, I love that bow.
Yeah.
But, dude, hey, it's another one of those things. When in Rome, if it's rifle season, I'm going to take that rifle 9 times out of 10. I mean, sometimes I don't, but...
It was really cool when I pulled that trigger and you hear the crack
Yeah.
echoing off the trees.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was pretty cool.
Yeah. I do enjoy rifle hunting. I think tomorrow I might go out, and I'm gonna kind of still hunt. I might do that tomorrow.
I was thinking about doing that today. It's going to fucking freeze and rain in tomorrow. Fuck that.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna rain all day, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I won't go.
I was thinking about going earlier today and just kind of walk 50 yards, stop, walk another 50 yards, stop, but I don't want to blow up the property too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. If I do it, I'll go to the Valley of Death. And what I'll probably do is there's this spot there where we know there's a doe bedding at the top of a ridge. I'll probably slowly walk in and set up on the opposite ridge and just sit down and wait.
Ah.
And when they come out, I'll be already in an elevated position because they bed up high and they make their way to the bottom. And it's what I seen them do with the muzzleloader when I had that misfire. So I was kind of thinking I could play off of that. If they do the same thing, which they likely will, I could set up on the opposite ridge, and when they come down to that little green pasture in the bottom of that ravine to eat that green shrubbery, I'll be there waiting.
Just fucking raining from the heavens.
But this time, not as a complete idiot, but just as a partial idiot. Because I'm slightly more prepared with a rifle than I am a muzzleloader.
Speaking of muzzleloader, a guy in Kentucky, let's see if I can pull him up. Nathan Beckham of Southern Kentucky shot a 201-inch whitetail with his muzzleloader.
God.
Got him on camera, and he sat 12 consecutive days to get this deer. December 11th in Kentucky. And this deer is an absolute freak.
Oh, my God.
Big, tall bastard. 201 inches. That's a green score, so after he dries out and shrinks, he'll probably be 196, 197. But
That is a absolute unit.
Could you imagine?
No. Dude, the buck I seen running through the woods tonight, I would love to have. I couldn't imagine
130 inch.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine a 200-inch animal. I've never seen anything even close to that.
No.
Man, I've never even seen anything 20 inches under that. I mean, like, oh, man. The big buck I shot was probably what was it you think he was, like 160?
160, 170.
Yeah.
That was a unit.
That was the biggest deer I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in Maryland, as far as Boone and Crockett's go, I think we have like under 500 all time. So to see a deer of that caliber in Maryland is fucking rare.
I think the state record is like 221, I think.
Yeah, it's there's big deer here.
Oh, yeah.
They're few and far between. It's not like fucking Wisconsin, I think they have like 1,400 Boone and Crockett entries, I think it is.
I got to thinking yesterday. Imagine living in Michigan, Wisconsin, and having the weather we had today and yesterday for like half of your fucking season.
Yeah.
Imagine how cold that would. Ugh. No thanks.
Snow is such a different thing to hunt in. It changes a lot. Like rain it changes things, but snow is like, man, it throws in this whole new like array of dilemmas and opportunities for you to traverse. Like you have so much more to consider with snow. You know what I mean? You have the aspect of the sound being reduced because of the snow. You have your footsteps being reduced, your motion being more noticeable, their motion being more noticeable, their tracks being easier to find. Like all of that stuff comes into play. The fact that they have to move more because they need to eat. So like there's so many more variables added from just some snow.
Yeah. That's what I said on the group chat. Like Ryan is just so up in arms about not being able to see deer here in late season. I was like, you gotta hunt the food.
Yeah.
Because late season's fucking tough. It is tough.
It is tough. And food is king at this time of year. And that's what because he was saying he was sitting, I can't remember exactly what he was saying. I think he was sitting over like a field, but he just wasn't seeing anything. And that's why I was telling him, I was like, well, if if you can find out where they're bedding,
Yeah.
then sit there, sit outside of bedding, and you might not be in the right spot, but you might at least have the opportunity to see where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was like, there's like no oak trees here. He's like, I just don't know where they're eating. And it's like, all right, well, that if you can't find food, find bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's once you can figure out where they're going, then you can set up accordingly. So I feel like that's a good play for late season.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was sitting today. I was sitting outside of the bedding.
Well, even their bedding might change from early season to late season too.
Yes,
So it's tough.
it is tough, and it's just it's you got to do it on the fly. You know what I mean? It changes. It helps to have experience on a property like we do here because we've been hunting it for years now. So we got an idea of what they're doing in each portion of the season.
Yeah. Faux show. Faux show.
Grab me a cold snack here. You want one?
Yeah, grab me one. Grab me one. We celebrated tonight. We didn't shake and bake together, but we were on the same property. And the funny thing is, I didn't hear your gunshots at all.
No,
No. When did you leave?
I don't think I heard yours either.
Yeah, it was right at quarter
well,
after 5.
I think I was leaving after you shot after I left. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
I
maybe like as I was loading up, it was close.
Yeah, I didn't hear your gunshots at all. I mean, you were a pretty good ways away, but I feel like I should have heard it.
Well, to where I was with the muzzle loader and where you were was almost the same,
Yeah.
and you heard me well.
Yeah.
That's snow, man.
Yeah. Because I was probably only 150 yards from where I was with the muzzleloader.
Yeah,
So,
the snow is so porous, and especially it's on the trees, it's on the ground, it's all over. It just absorbs that sound.
yeah.
Sound does not travel far. Like, have you ever walked out into the snow and just it's like super silent?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That snow, it's incredible, the effect that it has on sound. Because in the cold, sound travels further
Yeah.
than it does in the heat. So, like a cold day where there's no snow on the ground, man, you can hear shit from a ways. But you introduce that snow, and it is the opposite.
It's just it's a foreign thing here in Maryland.
Yes, it is.
But it's a beautiful thing when it does come.
Oh, I love it. And there's nothing like seeing blood and snow.
I didn't see a lot. You would think I would have seen buckets of it with that exit wound I had, but
Yeah.
very little.
I didn't see a whole lot either, but it's still cool to see, you know. And it's for if you're bow hunting in it, man, it makes a blood trail so easy to follow.
Man, if I would have hit that deer where I hit him with my bow tonight, it would have been buckets.
Yeah,
Shaft.
Yeah.
Jesus. And those rifles, I couldn't find the entrance.
yeah,
I was looking for it. Like, where the fuck is this entrance? I couldn't find it.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting that you say that. It makes me think if I was looking at the exit hole.
Probably, because I couldn't find it.
Yeah, because I flipped her over and I see nothing. I was like, wow, it didn't even exit. But maybe it was just such a small entry that I didn't see it. But I'm trying to think of the orientation of the deer, if that was the case or not. I could have been totally wrong. Could have been exit holes I was looking at. But
I don't like it.
yeah, it's just different. And some people strictly rifle hunt.
These are people that have never killed them with a bow.
Yeah, you'd think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Steve Ranella, man. He barely touches a bow. But he can hunt like X amount of days a year because he's going all over the country.
Yeah.
Like if we were just rifle hunters, we could only hunt like a couple weeks out of the year, and that just is not going to do it.
Yeah, and I don't see how fair it is shooting one at 300 fucking yards.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I'm not opposed to it either.
Yeah. And the dude that helped me get that deer out of there at night, he has one of those scopes where he just pushes a button and it ranges it and it moves the reticle for him. So all he's got to do is pull the trigger.
Well, those are illegal now for Boone and Crockett.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, somebody was saying that he can reach out to 1,000 or 1,100 yards.
What?
Yeah. I'm like, why would you want to kill a deer at over a half a mile?
No way.
No.
No.
Chris Kyle?
Yeah. No thanks. I mean, I think that scope's badass.
Yeah, cool as
And
fuck.
I'd love to have one. Probably would need another job to afford it, but I think that is cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Because, like, with mine, I think maybe because of how close it was, it could have it's going to hit a little different, and I was worried about that. You know what I mean? So, like, because I got it zeroed in at 100. So anything down around like 50, 60 yards, it's like, am I going to hit this thing high or am I going to hit it low? I'm not sure.
No idea.
I'd probably hit it low, if I'm not mistaken. Because the bullet will actually rise as it builds.
Does it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm pretty sure a bullet arc, when it comes out, is low initially for the first, like, I want to say, like 50 yards, and then it'll actually rise a little bit.
When the spin takes over?
I don't know.
All you rifle hunters out there, let us know.
I'm talking out of my ass. I don't
We
know.
have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
In my brain, it makes sense.
Yeah. But it's definitely not bow hunting.
No.
I got to get one more with the bow.
Yeah.
I need to.
Well, I would like to, but I am at capacity in the old freezer.
Yeah.
After I get this guy back next week at some time, I am at capacity.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put his head in my dad's freezer. So, Dad, clear some space.
Yeah, I got some room, but I also have 3 deer coming in. I've got one at Buckland's I have to pick up. I've got one at Hess's that I'm waiting to get back. They're not done with it yet. And then I got the one I dropped off tonight.
Yeah, when I dropped one off tonight, there was another guy there. He dropped off a big body buck. He was broke off on one side. It was a nice 8-pointer. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to get him all in snack sticks. And I was like, that's going to be expensive. You know that, right? And he was like, really? Really? How much is it going to be? And I was like, yeah, I was talking to Boyd the other day when I picked one up, and he said he had a guy spend $450
On one deer.
on one deer.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's probably how much that one's going to be all in snack sticks.
And he was like, well, if that's the case, maybe I'll just say keep it, and I'll take another basic cut. And I'm like, I don't think that's the way it works, dude. But whatever.
Yeah, that ain't gonna
No,
happen.
you gotta pay for that.
Yeah, if you order it, you gotta pay for it. It's not like, I don't want that. Give me a basic cut.
The menu is right there in the box. He should have looked. But.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's like $10 a pound, right, for snack sticks.
For snack sticks, yeah.
And that was easily 100. It was a big deer. It was easily a 150-pound deer. So you figure you get about 60, 70 pounds of meat off of him. I don't know the math on that. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Fucking $600.
Have fun with that guy.
No thanks.
I didn't have any stickers. I already gave him one.
Oh yeah, it was $150 for the one I got, and I got a bunch of processed stuff.
So the old lady makes the bologna and the jerky, so I ain't got to do that.
Yeah, I like the meatloaf though.
I need to try some of that and the scrapple.
Yeah, the scrapple's slamming, really good. You got to take it to Hess to do that.
Yeah.
But you can take like if you get a bunch of roasts, like you want to take some roasts up, take them up to Hess and get them to make some scrapple and some meatloaf.
I got plenty of roasts.
There you go. Yeah, buddy.
I'll start this diet. I'm going to start eating on all that fucking deer.
What kind of diet you doing? You doing a carnivore diet?
I don't know what I'm going to do. It's definitely effective for weight loss, that's for sure. I did it a couple years ago. Only eating fucking eggs and deer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think you get enough fat off deer, so I don't know how healthy it is, but fuck it.
We got 3 Saturdays left.
It's upsetting. And Ryan's coming back up.
Ryan's going to come up. He's going to come up the 21st and the 22nd.
Should we let the cat out of the bag on we're getting some guests or no?
Nah, we'll save that. We'll save it. Let them fruition. We got a couple guests coming up. But, yeah, we got one. We got pretty much the rest of our hunts planned other than this weekend. No. Yeah, other than this weekend, we got the rest of our hunts planned for the year.
I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend.
I don't either. I guess I'm just going to take the old bow.
Yeah, I'll probably just go to the quarry and sit in the same old tree I usually sit in.
No.
Maybe put another bag of corn out.
Yeah, I wanted to, man, but like I've been so busy. I've been trying to buy a car. I bought a used car, and I haven't had the time to put corn out. And it's like, yeah,
It's expensive.
yeah, and it's time consuming. It's more than anything. Like I don't mind spending the couple bucks on the meat, but then you got to drive it out here, and you got to time it right so that if you put a corn on the ground, you only got a few days. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you can just put corn out and a week later you can go hunt it. It's fucking gone. You know what I mean? So unless you put a ridiculous amount, and then you got to worry about like water and if it rains on it, they don't seem to like to hit it as much. Yeah, it's tricky. Corn's tricky, and I've done well not hunting over it. So
Me too. But it was nice to shoot that deer tonight.
it is fun though. Yeah. It is still fun.
You know they're coming.
Yeah.
It's just about when.
Yeah, it makes it a little more exciting. I feel like because you get there and you're like, all right, they're coming.
He came out like just in the nick of time too, because that's an older scope on that rifle, and it doesn't allow a lot of light in.
No.
So it was pretty dark
Yeah,
in the scope, at least.
that's oh man, it is fun shooting them, seeing them in the scope. That's like when I put the scope on that deer, I was like, yeah, baby. Like you know, like as long as you hit where you aim, like there's no that deer's gonna die quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They definitely die faster with a rifle.
Die from shock.
Yeah. It's
It's not hemorrhaging.
no, it's legit. It is fun. I still enjoy the hell out of rifle. I don't think either of us killed one. No, we didn't. That was the only rifle kills we've got this year.
Yeah.
Was tonight. Cheers to that, brother.
Hey, beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing. Well, you got anything else?
I got nothing.
Well, that is our class of Snow Hunting 101, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We hope you guys got out and got some. We hope your season's still open like ours, and we hope you kill some more deer.
Peace.
We'll see y'all next week.